And welcome to the neighborhood where each game gets bigger and bigger, and this one will decide who will play for a state Class C amateur baseball championship. We are into the semifinal round of the amateur state baseball tournament here on the Neighborhood Sports Network. It's been a privilege to bring you every pitch of every inning of every game up to this point, but now we are down to the final four, and it will be a tale of two stories here. The defending state Class C runners-up, the Watertown Red Devils, taking on the upstart Buckman Billygoats, who finished third out of their region number 8, but have won 4 games to advance here to the semifinal round of this state championship. We play one game here at Faribault. There's a game going on in Dundas right now. The Delano Athletics lead the Nisswa Lightning early, 1-0. The winners of these 2 games will meet here tomorrow at noon with the state championship on the line. So again, also a tale of different games here, as both of the quarterfinals at the different sites were tale of 2 games. Our first game, Watertown in a nail-biter scored 2 runs in the top half of the 7th inning and held on to beat Bird Island 3-2, and then in the second game, Buckman all over Dumont, beat them 13-4 to advance to the championship. And then over at Dundas, Delano got a walk-off solo home run in the bottom half of the 9th to beat St. Patrick 6-5, and in the other quarterfinal, Nisswa all over Jordan 14-2. So we'll see how that plays out. You have 2 teams coming off of big victories and 2 teams coming off of 1-run wins that went right down to the wire. So be interesting to see how these 2 teams respond to their previous game. One was a easy winner, while the other one had to scratch and claw their way to get through. So Watertown, again, made a deep run last year in the tournament. They're repeating that same thing here. They're already back into the semifinal round. They would love nothing more than to get back and have a shot to win one more game and bring a state championship to Watertown. They fell 1 game short last year, and now it will be the Billygoats of Buckman against the Red Devils of Watertown. And now let's go ahead, turn it over to our public address announcer, and here are the starting lineups.
At this time, let's meet tonight's starting lineups, beginning with Watertown. Leading off, number 2, playing center field, Pat Cheetah. Hitting second, playing right field, number 20, Matt Butler. Hitting third, playing third, number 28, Ben Smith. In the cleanup spot, number 24, first baseman, Zach Eiton. In the fifth spot, second baseman, number 23, Ryan Hengartner. In left field, hitting 6, number 11, Mitch Pilzer. The designated hitter, hitting 7th, number 7, Jackson Meyer. Behind the plate, playing catcher tonight, batting 8th, number 34, Ben Tyson. Playing shortstop, hitting 9th, number 6, Jadrian Peavy. And starting tonight on the pitching mound, number 13, Anson Dulac. The Red Devils are coached by manager Jared Dusky, assisted by Mitch Signer and Ryan McCabe. Let's welcome the rest of the Watertown Red Devils. Here's your the starting lineup for the home team, the Buckman Billygoats. Leading off center fielder, number 7, Matt Townjes. Hitting second, playing shortstop, number 8, Lane Gertz. In left field, hitting third, number 22, Noah Bozer. Hitting fourth, the third baseman, number 34, Aaron Weber. The designated hitter, hitting fifth, number 51, Andrew Ruckert. Hitting sixth, behind the plate tonight, number 24, Matt Comet. In right field, hitting 7, number 5, Travis Call. Hitting 8th, the first baseman, number 3, Joe Call. And batting 9th, playing second base, number 20, Jack Suska. Starting tonight on the pitching mound for the Billygoats, number 9, Nathan Enstrom. The Billygoats are coached by player-man with number 24, Matt Comet. Please welcome the rest of the Buckman Billygoats.
All right, so there you have the starting lineups. We're ready for the first pitch of this one, and we'll have it for you here. On the Neighborhood Sports Network. Hey, Greg. Kind of throw us up here.
Yeah, I think what you're saying, what you're doing in the lower right. Did you see drop green?
Yeah, 12, 11%.
Okay, let me go off the internet. Well, we're back on the green, right? Okay. So just hit it and let it go. And you can catch up. Are you able to get that off?
Tonight's semifinal game is sponsored by CNS Vending.
I was going to play earlier and it froze up. Unfroze and then now it's
Why isn't anybody watching?
Leading off the top of the first, for the red devil, center fielder, number 2, Pat Cheetah.
Okay, we are underway here, and Pat Cheetah steps in front of a very boisterous Watertown Red Devil crowd. Good turnout for both of these teams, but a lot of red representing Watertown and the Redbirds trying to get back to another state championship game. Line drive out into left center field, slicing in front of Townjes out there and down for a hit for Cheetah. A lot of the same from what we saw in their quarterfinal victory for Buckman. Matt Comet behind the plate. Joe Call at first, Jack Suska at second, Aaron Weber at third, Lane Gertz at short, Noah Bozer in left, Matt Townjes in center, and Travis Call replaces Andrew Rickert, who is the designated hitter, in right field defensively for the Billygoats. Matt Butler steps in. Butler playing right field. He was the designated hitter in the 3-2 quarterfinal victory by Watertown. Tries to bunt it and bunts it foul, so behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Trying to get Cheetah over to second base. Cheetah has good speed out there. Ooh, he's hopping off of first base, and the pitcher, Ernstrom, hangs on to the ball. Would have been a good time to throw over, but Ernstrom just held on to it, changes up that timing. Looks like Cheetah is thinking about wanting to go here. Might not be a bad time to pitch out if you're Buckman. In hold, doesn't go. Decides to go with a curveball off the outside corner, so you're thinking that the batter is going to go, or the runner is going to go from first. A curveball on the outside part of the plate is probably not the best pitch for your catcher to get a good throwing position from, but that's what they went with, and Cheetah was not running, so Butler took it for a ball and had a very demonstrative conversation with our home plate umpire. Not sure what that was about, but it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. They check on Cheetah over at first base. Playing a foul ball. A big left-handed third baseman decided to lay one down. Laid it out in front of home plate. Lammers came up with it by the time he made the throw. It was a bunt single in their 3-2 victory over Bird Island. Watertown had 3 infield bunt singles that helped them produce the 3 runs they needed to get the win over Bird Island. Bird Island had played 36 innings in their previous 2 games, but had Watertown a little bit on the ropes. Jumped out to a 2-0 lead, but could not score the rest of the way, and Watertown came up with 1 in the 3rd and 2 in the 7th, and ended up winning the game 3-2. And now a chopper foul off the bat of Zach Eiton. First baseman Eiton, 1 for 5 in the game against Bird Island. Pitch in the dirt, it gets by Lammers all the way to the backstop. A ton of room behind home plate here at Bell Field, so easy base for the runners to move up there on a pitch that was spinning outside, and it's probably worth mentioning that Lammers already caught 9 innings, because the way this tournament works, the second team that wins their quarterfinal has to turn around and play right away again the next game. So this is already the 10th inning behind home plate for the catcher Lammers. I know it just takes a lot out of you, crouching down and blocking balls. And that one got through Lammers into the backstop. Obviously no excuse by Lammers. It was a very, very tough pitch to handle, and that one misses outside. So with first base open, they elect to go ahead and kind of pitch around Zach Eiton there. It'll be Ryan Handgardner, who had the game-winning hit, a single with 1 out in the 7th to drive in Ben Smith. And that turned out to be the winning run. Now here's a chopper to second. Opportunity to get 2. Second for 1. On a first, double play. Spilling after going past the bag was Handgardner. But a fantastic double play. Suska Gertz to call. And a bases loaded 1 out situation is pitched out of by Ernster and the Billygoats. And they put a 0 up on the board against Watertown in the first, stranding 3. So we're through 1/2 inning of play. Big double play ball keeps Watertown off the board, and we will be back here too. Belfield in Faribault with semifinal Class C state tournament action after this.
Baseball. It's America's pastime and Minnesota's passion. The all-new Neighborhood Sports Network, in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association, brings you coverage of the 2022 State Amateur Baseball Tournament. Coverage is proudly brought to you by The Urgency Room, fast, flexible care. McDonald's, owners and operators of Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. Find your golden opportunity at mcdonalds.com/careers. The Star Tribune, your home for the best prep coverage. And by the Minnesota Twins. Welcome to the neighborhood. Now, let's get out to the ballpark.
Nisswa leads Delano 3-1 in the third inning. Nisswa 3, Delano 1 in the third.
So not sure if you heard that update from public address announcer here. Nisswa comes back with 3 runs against Delano, leads it 3-1 over at Dundas. Important because the winner of that one gets the winner of this one for a chance to play for the state championship. So Watertown will go to one of their own here, Anson Dulles, Watertown Mayor High School, and then Southwest Minnesota State for college ball. Whereas Buckman is going with one of their draftees, Nathan Enstrom from the Aiken Steam, and he got a huge double play ball off the bat of Ryan Handgartner with the bases loaded, 1 out to end the top half of the first inning. Ben Thiessen behind the plate for Watertown. Line drive out into center field. Cheetah drifts over, puts it away, so called out Ben Cheetah, the center fielder. You've got first baseman Zach Eiton, second baseman Ryan Handgartner. Third baseman is Ben Smith, the shortstop Jadrian Keevy. Left field Mitch Kelzer. Center field Pat Cheetah, as mentioned, and Matt Butler in right. Ground ball off the glove of a diving Keevy out into shallow left. You can tell these players leaving it all out onto the field on this one. Keevy with a diving stop, attempt at a stop, after Tau just flew out to the center fielder, Cheetah. Gertz grounds a base hit in the hole, but chasing after it, the shortstop, Keevy, came up and immediately threw and fell face first onto the ground. We saw in the top half of the inning, Ryan Handgartner trying to beat out that ground ball to second on the double play, tripped over the bag, did a little somersault going past. So both of these teams, knowing the importance of this game, are going to leave it out all on the field in this one. Already seen that a couple of times here through the first inning and a third of action. They check on the runner Gertz as Noah Bozer steps in, swings and fouls back out of play. Bozer was named the player of the game for Buckman in that 13-4 victory over the Dumont Saints, as he went 3 for 4, scored 2 runs and drove in 3. And now trying to get something going here with a 2-ball, 1-strike count as 1-1 pitch missed outside. So Gertz over there at first base. Piers and St. Scholastica, we see that combination for 3 different players here for the Buckman Billygoats. Matt Taugis, Lane Gertz, and Aaron Weber, all from Pierce High School, and then on to St. Scholastica in Duluth. But right now, it's Noah Bozer ahead in the count 3 balls and 1 strike. Bozer, Bemidji State, rips one into the gap in right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Gertz is easily going to be able to come in and score, and picking up right where he left off in game number 1 of this doubleheader here, quarterfinal and semifinal action. Noah Bozer doubles into right center, and the Buckman Billygoats are out quickly again here. They picked up 1 in the first against Dumont, but then scored 5 in the second to go ahead 6-2 after falling behind 2-0, and pretty much just cruised to victory from there. And now Aaron Weber will step in. Weber hit a big 3-run home run that capped off a 5-run 5th inning and gave Buckman a 13-2 lead at the time. So 3 RBIs for Weber, 3 for Bozer in that quarterfinal victory. Now with a runner at second base, Weber, big cut at the 1-0 offering, can't quite catch up to it. We're going to get a timeout called here by the first baseman, Zach Eiton. He wants to come in and talk over something with his pitcher and catcher combination. Our home plate umpire comes out and gives a couple of claps and says, "Come on, boys, let's go, let's play ball." So it was a 1-ball, 1-strike count. I don't know if Eiton picked something up on the delivery from Anson Dulles, but he's the one who requested time and walked in and had a conversation with Dulles and Thielen. Weber fouls one back and out of play to the right. So Buckman has really brought their hitting shoes here. They won their opening game against Cannon Falls 7-1 and get a good pitching performance from Matt Taugis in a 4-0 win over Laverne. Check swing and a foul up the first base line. Then 8-5, a win over Waconia, and 13-4 over Dumont. So 22 runs in the last 19 innings for Buckman here as they continue to hit the baseball around. Trying to tack on more with Weber, 1-2 count. A 12-6 curveball up high, and really partisan Red Devil crowd here, and no better way than to take them out of the game than put a big crooked number up here in the first. They already got 1 and looking to add more with a 2-2 pitch coming to Weber. Pops it up foul, backing out of play. So again, another batter really battling against the pitcher here, and if nothing else, allowing those teammates to get a good look here at Anson Dulles. Already a single for Gertz and a double for Bozer has produced the first run of the game. Quick time by the umpire. It was a late timeout call from Weber, and our home plate umpire made it very definitive that he was going to grant that timeout. So now we're ready at 2-2 and called strike 3. Weber not happy with himself there. He was definitely looking for something different there, as that was a fastball right down the heart of the plate. Wasn't one of those where Weber knew it and just walked to the dugout, but he realized after the umpire rose up that absolutely that was strike 3 and had to walk back to the dugout. So Andrew Rickard will step in, and he takes a strike on the outside corner. He also has a little look back at our home plate umpire, but again, just looking for consistency behind that home plate, and so far it seems like we've seen it. There's a line drive out into right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Around third comes Bozer. The throw to the plate is not in time as Bozer slid to the right-handed batter's box side and then tapped his right hand on top of the plate. So rather than reaching out with the left hand, Bozer made it just a little bit more difficult than he probably needed to. If he'd have put the left hand out, I think he easily slides around the tag. It made it a tremendously close play when he reached across his body and touched the plate with his right hand, but was able to get in safely and score the second run of the inning. So it's a big 2-out RBI single from Andrew Rickert, the designated hitter in this one. He played right field most of the game in the victory over Dumont and went 2 for 3 with a run scored. And there's a strike called to Matt Cummett. Cummett 0 for 3, but did have a sacrifice bunt and a sacrifice RBI fly against Dumont. Foul back and out of play. Also two RBIs in the game from the number 9 spot in the order, Jack Suska. So 3 RBIs for Weber and Bozer, and 2 for Suska, and a swing and a foul tip to the glove, held on to. So sandwich an RBI single for Rickert on strikeouts of Weber and Cummett. But again, the 3rd seed out of Region 8, the Buckman Billygoats, jump out on top of the defending Class C state runners-up, the Watertown Red Devils. And we will be back to Belfield in Faribault after this timeout on NSPN.TV. All right, what a good first inning for the Buckman Billygoats. They induce an inning-ending ground ball double play with the bases loaded in the top half of the first inning for the Red Devils of Watertown, who looked like they were going to get this very raucous and partisan crowd. Buckman has one section off to our right, pretty filled up with fans, but entire section behind home plate and then down the third baseline is all Watertown Red fans. Looked like they were going to get them into the game early. Instead, an inning-ending double play, and then 2 runs in the bottom half of the first inning for Buckman. And they've got themselves a 2-0 lead. The winner of this one plays the winner of Nisswa and Delano for the state championship at noon tomorrow. Remember, the first game of the Class B state championship is tonight right here on the network. It will be slated for 7:30, but about 30 minutes after the conclusion of the game over at Dundas between Delano and Nisswa. Poking this one foul down the right field line is Mitch Kelzer. So staying alive at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nathan Enstrom, the draftee from the Aiken Steam, University of Northwestern, over in Roseville for the college. Curveball, trying to stay back on it, is Kelzer, but he just chops it over to Joe Call at first base, and Call will call off Enstrom and take it himself. So out number 1 is recorded here in the top half of inning number 2. So as a non-top seed coming into this tournament, Buckman has had to play one more game to get to this point than the other semifinal teams. And first pitch swinging, Jackson Meyer loops a base hit out into right center field. So Meyer came in as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning of the game against Bird Island. Got a hit, now starts off with a hit here, so 2 for 2 on the day for Jackson Meyer, the designated hitter, and Ben Thielen will step in. Takes a called strike. So after loading the bases in the first, Watertown gets a 1-out base runner here. A single by Jackson Meyer. They'll check on Meyer. And back standing up. Meyer with a decent lead over there. Oh, they got him leaning, but he was able to regain his footing and dive back into the base. So at no balls and 1 strike, not sure if they were going to put some sort of a play on there with Meyer, but he was definitely leaning towards second when Enstrom made the throw over, and now that pitch misses low. So really, if nothing else, Meyer has definitely got the attention of Nathan Enstrom. And he takes off and goes. Line drive just off the glove of Suska. And Meyer is around second and into third. So the line drive off the bat of Thielen, it would have been an inning double play if Suska could have come up with it. But it just ticked off the edge of his glove out into center field. Taujas charged, but with good speed, Jackson Meyer was around second and easily into third. So I don't know if that was a straight hit and run situation. Meyer got a tremendous jump off of first base. But in any case, it results in runners in the corners here. And a pitch in the dirt. So Keevy squared the bunt. Pitch was in the dirt, and Cummett did an excellent job. In the game against Bird Island, Watertown had this same situation. They were going to either attempt a partial suicide or a safety type squeeze, and Ryan Handgartner came way too far down the line, and he got picked off of third base, and at that time it was a 1-run game for Bird Island, 2-1. So let's see if Watertown is a little more careful here with the runner at third as a swing and a foul back off the bat of Keevy. Ground ball to third, going back to the bag and really causing Weber to lose his concentration and not field the ball. So the ball, the runner, and the fielder all kind of got to the third base bag at the same time. So a tough play there for Weber. He tried to apply the tag before he got the ball. Looks like they're going to credit Keevy with an infield single there, as it was a tough play for Weber. Would have taken a tremendous throw across the diamond. Probably no chance to get Thielen heading for second. And now once again, bases loaded for Watertown. And Pat Cheetah steps in. Cheetah, Watertown High School, and then Viterbo in La Crosse, Wisconsin, to play some college ball. Takes a backdoor curveball from Enstrom. So Cheetah will be a very tough runner to double up, but they are playing at double play depth. Buckman would trade a run for a double play ball here. Actually, they wouldn't have to give up the run because there is 1 out. So no balls and 2 strikes to Cheetah. So it would be an inning double play if they could induce another one. And ahead in the count is Enstrom. No balls and 2 strikes to Cheetah. Line drive out into right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Weber scores around third. And chugging home is the catcher, Thielen. And on a 2 RBI single off the bat of Pat Cheetah, we got ourselves a tie ball game here at 2 apiece. So this time Watertown, after loading the bases, take advantage. They could hit into an inning-ending double play with the bases loaded and 1 out in the first, but Pat Cheetah roped one down the right field line. Long run over there for Travis Call to pick it up. By the time he did, the catcher, I'm not trying to say anything against the foot speed of Thielen, but as the catcher, not the most fleet of foot, but he was able to chug home and beat the relay throw. And on the play, over to third went Jadrian Keevy, and that'll bring up Matt Butler. Butler grounded into a fielder's choice. Squares to bunt. Takes a ball inside. Wow, that looked like a pretty good pitch there. Again, with all that movement with the batter squaring, sometimes that can throw off the timing of the umpire calling balls and strikes, but that one may have missed inside. And they kind of got Cheetah leaning a little bit, but he caught himself and was able to dive back on the throw over from Enstrom. So we're tied at 2 here. Watertown looking to get back to the championship game again this year after making it last year and falling to Sobieski in the championship. Trying to avenge that and get back there and see if they can't win one more. Bring the first state championship back to Watertown since 1951. Square to bunt again as Butler and pulls back on it. So 3 balls and no strikes. I don't know if this squaring to bunt is really throwing the concentration off of the pitcher, Nathan Enstrom, but he missed on all 3. Now square again, and that one is in there for a called strike. So 3-1. We'll see what Butler does here. It's a good hitter's count, but with the pitcher Enstrom having missed the previous 3, might have the take sign on here, and then you can start the runner. He hits a hard line drive, but good, smart base running by Keevy and Cheetah. Both of them froze on that line drive. It looked like it was off the end of the bat, so it was hit on a line but wasn't roped. And it was right at the shortstop Gertz, and he hauled it in. So it'll now be up to Ben Smith. Smith singled. Oh, bunt single out in front of home plate. In his first at bat, now has runners at first and third, and thinking as well that this is a running situation for Pat Cheetah. They will check on the runner here. So certainly an opportune time for Watertown to get the speedy Cheetah. But he just takes his secondary lead, and missing down low with that pitch is Enstrom. Ben Smith, Orono High School, and then Minnesota State Mankato for college. See a lot of Mavericks, a lot of Huskies at St. Cloud State. Ground ball, Suska gobbles it up, and from the knee, a one-hop throw over to Joe Call, and he makes a nice scoop on the play. So a bases loaded, 1-out situation results in 2 runs for Watertown. They get 4 hits in the inning, but strand runners at first and third. So we got ourselves a fresh ball game here at 2 apiece. We'll head to the bottom of the second after this timeout. Neighborhood Sports Network.
PrepSpotlight.tv made history in 2020 by live streaming every game of the Town Ball State Tournament. History is happening again. PrepSpotlight.tv has been great, but it's becoming greater. Introducing NSPN.TV. The Neighborhood Sports Network launches this week with end-to-end coverage of a fantastic Minnesota sports tradition, Town Ball. See every game for a new fan-friendly monthly fee. Join for Town Ball state tournament games, then stay for the high school and college seasons. NSPN.TV will provide subscribers with an abundant supply of local sports content, featuring live events called by local play-by-play professionals, comprehensive highlights, feature stories, weekly shows, documentaries, and video podcasts. Welcome to the neighborhood. NSPN.TV.
All right, Travis Call will step in here, lead off the bottom of the second. He's 7, 8, and 9 for Buckman as they sent 6 to the plate and scored 2. Got a big 2-out RBI single from Andrew Rickhart. Played the second run. After Bozer doubled in the first one. And Call chops a 1-1 pitch foul, so 1 ball and 2 strikes now. To the right fielder, Travis Call. Anson Dulis, swing and a miss. Late swing by Call there. Challenging fastball from Dulis. And he was able to get Call, so the third strikeout of the game. So 3 of the 4 outs recorded by Dulis have been via the strikeout, but sandwiched 3 hits in there, and one of them being a ringing double. Buckman, despite striking out 3 times for their first 4 outs, has 2 runs on the board. Now, check swing by Joe Call at 1-0 and did not go. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. A running fastball away from Call, and all he can do is get the end of the bat on it and foul it off back to the screen. A race to that foul ball between our home plate umpire and the on-deck batters, Suska, and the home plate umpire will win the race. Throw that ball in his pocket and say, let's go here at 2-1, a swing and a miss by Call, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes now. So after falling behind in the count, Anson Dulles comes back and gets right back into this at-bat against Joe Call at 2-1 or 2-2, and a swing and a miss. 3 consecutive strikeouts. 4 of the last 5 batters have struck out, but the one who didn't, Andrew Rickhart, ripped a base hit into right field to plate the second run of the bottom half of the first inning for Buckman, and now it'll be up to Jack Suska, who I would think had to have been in contention for player of the game in the first one, but rolls it over, and it's a 1-2-3 bottom half of the second inning for Dulles and Watertown, so they try to keep the momentum going. They've loaded the bases in each of their first 2 at-bats. The first ended in an inning-ending ground ball double play, but the second one they were able to generate a couple runs out of it. And we're going to head to the top half of inning number 3 back here in Bell Field, and it looks like Nisswa has built themselves a nice lead over at Dundas. They'll take on the winner of this one. We'll talk about it further when we come back after this timeout on NSPN.TV. So the Nisswa Lightning leads Delano 7-1 over at Dumont. Nisswa in their round of 16 game, actually it was in the second round against Raymond, they found themselves down 5-3 in the bottom half of the 12th inning and came up with 3 runs to basically steal that game away. And since then, all Nisswa has done is knock off New Ulm 4-2, beat Jordan 8-5, and now has a big lead over Delano and a pop-up in the infield, leading things off here in the second off the bat of Zach Eiton. Drifting over into foul territory is the pitcher, Nathan Enstrom. He will call off the first baseman call, and the catcher come it and take it himself. So one quick out here in the top half of inning number 3. And Handgardner, who hit into that inning-ending 4-6-3 double play, takes a called strike. Line drive, base hit out into right field. So another base runner here for Watertown. They have 2 runs on the board, but they have stranded 4 runners through the first 2 innings, and now have a 1-out base runner here on a base hit to right field by Ryan Handgardner. They continue to face the right-hander Nathan Enstrom from the Aiken Steam. Foul ball on a play to the right off the bat of Mitch Kilzer. Left fielder grounded out 3 unassisted to start the second, but after that, 4 consecutive hits by Meyer, Thielen, Keevy, and a 2-run single by Cheetah that tied the ball game up. And that's where we sit here, 2-2. Fly ball, center field. Tauges backs up, backpedaling to get that one. Probably not the way they teach it at St. Scholastica, where we went to college, because it's a lot easier to trip over your shoes or the grass out there when you're backpedaling. But Tau just confidently went back, got underneath it, and hauled it away. So Mitch Kelzer is out number 2, and now Jackson Meyer started the 2-run rally in the second with a base hit to right center field. He'll step in and take a ball. Meyer went to third off the single off the glove of Jack Suska when Meyer was running on the pitch. Got to third, and he scored on the single by Cheetah. The first of 2 runs. Right behind him came Ben Thielen, and that tied the ball game up. 2-0 pitch is right down Broadway for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, we're kind of seeing a close game played in one of the games and a little bit of a margin differential in the other. Runner goes, ground ball to third. Weber needs to go to first, and Call with a confident scoop. And swiped that one up and threw it behind his back. Back to the mound. So that was almost a statement by Joe Call saying, go ahead and throw it anywhere, boys. I'll scoop it out of the dirt for you. So Weber is able to throw out Jackson Meyer. He's retired for the first time today. And we will head to the bottom half of inning number 3. It's the top of the order for Buckman when we come back to Faribault after this timeout on your Neighborhood Sports Network.
Fast and flexible care. Count on the urgency room for expert medical care when you need it most. Visit us in person. Broken bone, chest pain? We're in Eagan, Vadnais Heights, or Woodbury. Online care. Sinus infection? Strep throat? We offer easy online care. Major to minor, we can provide the level of care you need. Visit urgencyroom.com. Mobile check-in now available.
So top of the order here. Matt Tauges really trying to get underway offensively here. He did score 2 runs in the victory over Dumont, but still looking for his first hit on the day. He reached on an air and scored in the first inning, hit by a pitch and scored in the 5th. But other than that, it's been 3 ground ball outs in game 1 and a fly out to center field to Cheetah. Leading off this one for Buckman. He takes the first pitch high, and that one misses away, so 2 balls and no strikes now. To the leadoff hitter. Buckman would love to get Tauges on at the top of the order, and they've got an excellent opportunity to do that here, ahead in the count now. 3 balls and no strikes. Early on in this one, no guarantee that Tauges has the take sign, but takes that pitch on the outside corner for a strike. So 3-1. And the pitch misses. So it's a leadoff walk for Tauges. Good speed on the base paths for Buckman.
The shortstop, number 8, Lane Hurts.
As they continue to try to produce runs here. It was this part in the order that produced the runs in the bottom half of the first inning. Gertz singled, Bozer doubled, Gertz scored, and Bozer scored on the 2-out RBI single from the designated hitter, Andrew Rickart. Tauges with a good lead over there. He goes, got a good jump. The throw to second is up the line and gets past the second baseman, Handgartner. Peavy does a nice job to get over and back that one up, keep it from going out into center field. But a stolen base for Tauges, wastes no time. Now he's got to clean out the dirt from the front of his jersey after that slide into second. He's ready to go. Called strike on the first pitch to Gertz. Now time again granted late by our home plate umpire here, as the pitcher Dulles was keeping a close eye on Tauges out there at second base. 0-1 pitch. Bunt, it's a beauty. No chance, as slipping on the grass was the pitcher Dulles, but I think he had no chance to get Gertz there. Just a perfectly placed bunt down the third base line by Lane Gertz. So now 2 for 2, and that moves Tauges up to third base. So first and third, nobody out here. And the dangerous Noah Bozer stepping into the batter's box. Bozer obviously seeing the ball very well today. 2 doubles, 2 singles in 5 official at-bats. Somehow did strike out in the first inning of game 1 against Dumont. But since then, it's 4 for 4 with a walk and 4 RBIs, and certainly an RBI opportunity here against Anson Dulles and Watertown. They'll check on Gertz. So it was 3 strikeouts in a row. And there's a line drive base hit, make it RBI number 5 on the day. The throw is behind Gertz, but he's able to slam on the brakes and get back. So Noah Bozer just continues to torch the baseball. Line drive there, right back up the middle. Second RBI in the game, 5th on the day for Noah Bozer. And Buckman now has regained the lead here at 3-2. And we get a walkout, so after the entire infield came together before the at-bat by Bozer, they'll all get together with their manager up on top of the pitching mound, and a home plate umpire is going to have to work his way out there and tell him to break it up. But before he can get out there, they go ahead and do it on their own. So runners now at first and second, still nobody out here as Buckman continues to just put runs on the board. "24 runs in their last 21 innings and still not done. Make it 20 innings because there's no outs yet here in the third. It's a 3-2 lead. And squaring the bunt is Weber. Took the curveball for a strike. Didn't like the call from the umpire, but a nice curveball spun in there by Dulles. And now ahead in the count of Weber. Look at the first baseman, Eiton, well inside the bag, and even with the grass is Smith at third. Charging hard from that first base side, so again, if Weber were to lay down a bunt here, he wants to bunt that ball over to the third base side of the bag, because with Eiton charging, they may have an opportunity to get the lead runner if Weber were to try to lay one down that first base side. With this infield in, I think Weber might swing away here. Definitely some big holes in this infield with Eiton. A good 2 steps inside it on the grass from the infield cutout at third. Third baseman, Ben Smith, even with the bag there. Big, huge hole to the right of the second baseman, Handgartner. As Weber swings and misses. Now Handgartner will move a little bit more to his right with 2 strikes on the batter. He was thinking he was going to have to cover first base. So opened up a big hole in the middle of the infield there, but now with 2 strikes, he can move over. Here's a chopper to short, probably one play. No, they do get the out at second. So good play by Keevy. The underhand toss on the run to Handgartner to get the lead runner, Bozer, at second. I thought maybe the only play that Keevy was going to have would be to Weber at first base, but he made a nice play. So they do get the runner going from first to second in Bozer. But still now that moves up Gertz to third, and a fly ball to center field. It's well hit, and that was off the wall, halfway up the wall. Weber got a great read on it, knowing that Cheetah was not going to be able to catch that one. It hit halfway up the wall in center field, and Andrew Rickard drills a double out into deep center field over the head of Cheetah, drives in 2 more runs. That's 3 RBIs in the game now for Andrew Rickard. And the Buckman Billygoats continue to just pour on the offense here. 3 runs in the bottom half of inning number 3, and they're far from done with Andrew Rickard at second base, but they're going to have to do it against another pitcher here as they send Anson Dulles to the dugout here. And we are going to get a new pitcher in for Watertown. Boy, it seems like nobody has been able to figure out these Buckman Billygoats since they came into this tournament as the number 3 seed out of Region 8. Right now, if the games were to be called at a conclusion, we would have a matchup of 2 teams from the Region 8. There are 16 regions in amateur baseball in Class C, so the odds of that happening aren't very good. But right now, Nisswa and Buckman both holding leads here in their semifinal game. A lot of baseball left to be played, so we're not going to get ahead of ourselves here, but good position for both of those Region 8 teams. A new pitcher coming in. We'll bring it to you after we take this time out on the Neighborhood Sports Network.
Join our team while supporting yours. The all-new Neighborhood Sports Network, NSPN.TV, is looking for camera operators and broadcasters for our live game streams. The atmosphere of sporting events can't be beat. Be a part of the action with flexible scheduling and guaranteed game rate pay. If you're a student or adult looking for an opening into the world of sports media, or to just make a little extra cash, send us an email at jobs@nspn.tv. Welcome to the neighborhood.
66. Buckman, an impressive 251. Watertown, 550. For Watertown, we have hotel options in Faribault tonight. The night stay in Faribault, the days in. Borders.
All right, Jonah Lewis will be the new pitcher. In between pitches here, the PA announcer got the crowd all excited, tallying up the beer count for the fans here in this one. And Watertown has a much bigger lead in that tally than their baseball team does on the field. But that's not what's important here. What's important is the 5-2 score. And Buckman has the lead over Watertown, and they're into the bullpen of the Red Devils. And spinning away from that one, but not getting away enough, is Matt Comet. And he is hit by the pitch. So with one out, first base was open, but I don't think that's the way that Jonah Lewis necessarily intended to put him on the base. Lewis out of Minnetonka High School, and then a Bear out of Concordia St. Paul College. A good pop on that fastball. Catches the outside corner here to Travis Call. The two calls both struck out in the second inning. Strike on the outside corner to Travis, the right fielder. So runners at first and second. One away here, bottom half of the third. Buckman's put a 3 spot up here. They lead it 5-2. That one misses off the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Call, number 7 hitter in the order. Trying to add on to this already 3-run lead by Buckman. Curveball on the outside corner. Called strike 3. So call back-to-back strikeouts. That's Travis. Joe will try to avoid doing the same thing here and see if he can't pick up another run for the Buckman Billygoats. Rickert still out at second, and timeout is called for and granted by Joe Call. Matt Comet at first base after being hit by the pitch. They'll play behind him there with Eiton, left-handed batter, and Joe Call. Slicing fly ball into shallow left center field, and Cheetah, the captain out there, will call for it, make a cap-high catch. So 1 pitch and 1 out to Joe Call, but again, not before Buckman comes up with 3 runs on 3 hits. So we're through just 3 innings of play, 13 hits and 7 runs already on the board. Watertown will have to try to respond again to Buckman. They did so in the top half of the second. Buckman put a 2 spot up in the bottom half of the first, and Watertown loaded the bases and came back with 2 runs in their top half of inning number 2, but here in the bottom half of the third, Buckman gets a big 2 RBI double off the bat of their designated hitter, Andrew Rickert, his second and third RBIs of the game. Delano trying to work their way back into things against Nisswa in the top of the 6th inning. They put a couple runs up and trail now 7-3 in that one. So again, a long ways to go. And as we play deeper and deeper into this tournament, obviously the bullpens and pitching depth become paramount. So certainly never feel like you're out of a game here if you can get into a bullpen, especially a bullpen that's been taxed over the last couple of days here. This is the 3rd ball game of the weekend for these two teams. Each of them hoping to play one more as Thielen steps in and a little fister out to center field. That's going to fall. Gertz was just not able to run that one down. He's the only one who had a chance to get it. So Thielen got jammed a little bit there, but got enough of it to get it out into center field. And it fell in for a base hit. So a good start for Watertown to try to respond to the 3 spot put up by Buckman. In the bottom half of the 3rd, they get a leadoff single. And a slicing line drive out into right center field. Tauchis makes the diving catch in right center field, comes up and throws a little grounder back in. He couldn't get a lot on the throw because he had to do it quickly. But importantly, Matt Tauchis makes a diving catch. That ball was slicing away from him off the bat of Jadrian Keevy. Tauchis, as we talked about, leaving nothing on the field. Made a diving catch, got up thinking he might even turn it in to a double play, but Thielen was able to scamper back safely into first, and it'll now be Pat Cheetah. He has 2 of the 8 hits in the game here for Watertown. Watertown stranded 5 base runners through the first 3 innings. And now Cheetah takes a off-speed pitch just off the outside corner. Cheetah singled in the first, singled in 2 runs in the second. Thielen over there at first. The fly ball deep right center field. Tauchis gets over there and makes the catch just in front of the warning track. Now makes a long throw back to first base. So 2 excellent catches out in center field by Matt Tauchis. So showing off the leather in center field and then showing off the arm there from just in front of the warning track in right center field. He threw it all the way in the air to Joe Call at first base. Thielen was already back on the bag. I don't think anyone expected Tauchis to do that, especially Call. He had to kind of react and go, that ball's coming my direction. So came off the base and fielded it to keep Thielen there at first. But consecutive good plays there by Matt Tauchis in center field has us at 2 away here in the top of the 4th, and Matt Butler steps in, takes a ball. Chopper up the third base line. Weber fields it, straddling the bag, throws it across the diamond. Call has to reach up and then avoid Matt Butler coming down the line. So the leadoff single is stranded right there at first base, and mostly due to the leather being flashed in center field by Matt Tauchis, and then a good play at third by Weber to get Butler to end the inning, and we are through 3.5 innings of play. The Buckman Billygoats trying to buck their way into a state championship game. And they will try to add on here in the bottom half of the 4th inning, and we'll be back with that action for you for this timeout on the Neighborhood Sports Network.
Join our team while supporting yours. The all-new Neighborhood Sports Network, NSPN.TV, is looking for camera operators and broadcasters for our live game streams. The atmosphere of sporting events can't be beat. Be a part of the action with flexible scheduling and guaranteed game rate pay. If you're a student or adult looking for an opening into the world of sports media, or to just make a little extra cash, send us an email at jobs@nspn.tv. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Leading off the bottom of the board, Buckman, second baseman number 20, Jack Suska.
That's a Jack Suska. Will lead things off. Jonah Lewis out there after coming in relief of our starter, Anson Dulles. Suska rolls that one over to Whiten at first base, and he'll take it himself.
The center fielder, number 7, Matt Talgis.
And Matt Talgis, who had a good inning defensively. Now steps in offensively and has to get out of the way of that fastball. And how Talgis gets hit. So 2 pitches in a row came in on Talgis. That one hit him. Lane Gertz will step in. This is the part of the order that's really done the damage. And that pitch sounds, boy, that sounded like that hit Gertz there, but they say no. Curveball right in there, so good pitch from Lewis there after a couple of pitches that came in tight. One and one is the count. That one's in the dirt. Boy, Talgis got a good break, but slammed on the brakes. He didn't think he could make it. Thielen was able to knock that one down and keep it in front of him. And that pitch is in the dirt, and that one does get by Thielen and is going to allow Talgis to move up to second base. So now a 3-ball, 1-strike count to Lane Gertz. Delano continuing to kind of claw their way back in against Nisswa. 7-4 in the bottom half of inning number 6 over in Dundas. So again, coming from down 7-1, no quit in the Delano Athletics, and we'll see in this one as we have a comeback coming. But right now it is Buckman who continues to apply the pressure to Watertown here. Talgis, who walked and came around to score on a base hit by Bozer in the third. Was hit by a pitch with one away and now goes to second base on the walk from Lane Gertz. So Bozer steps in another RBI situation. He's only got 5 on the day. 3 in game 1 and 2 here in game number 2. So not the guy you want to see at the plate if you are the Watertown Red Devils here. There's Noah Bozer. And they've got the runner picked off. The throw to third, and yes, they say they get the tag on Tauges. So Tauges just a little too aggressive there. Got off the base, and Lewis went with a little outside move. Was able to dislodge from the pitching rubber and make the throw over to the third baseman, Ben Smith, who was able to get Tauges with the tag. Now Bozer runs on the first pitch, and he's going to be able to steal the base at second. I'm sorry, that's Gertz. Bozer is still at the plate. He swung and missed and made it an 0-2 count. A lot going on the base paths here as Tauges gets picked off at second base. Big base running error by Tauges for Buckman. The RBI machine in Bozer, but no RBI coming here as Bozer swings and misses at that offering. So Watertown is able to pick a base runner off the bases and strand one and hang a 0 on the board for the Buckman Billygoats in the bottom half of inning number 4. So the Red Devils will come up here trying to claw their way back into this one. Both games right now are 3-run games. Going to the top of the 7th, Nisswa leads Delano 7-4. Going to the top of the 5th, Buckman leads Watertown 5-2, and we'll come back to Faribault after this short timeout.
Star Tribune covers high school sports as passionately as you live them. Don't miss a beat on the games you love. Check out Star Tribune all day, every day for the latest prep news, scores, and so much more.
Ben Smith, Zach Eiton, Ryan Handgartner, 3, 4, and 5 for Watertown, trying to get to Nathan Enstrom here. They've stranded 6 runners through their first 4 at-bats and trail it here 5-2. Top half of inning number 5, and Ben Smith with a big cut, but just chopped it foul. Smith, big left-handed batting third baseman for Watertown. Trying to make it back to the championship game in consecutive years here, but a lot of work to do. Off-speed pitch, Smith out off his front foot, lifted it high into right center field, and Tauges runs about 70 yards and calls off Travis Call, who had to come in maybe 10 yards. But that's the center fielder, that's the captain. Every ball he can get to and call, those corner outfielders are expected to give way, and that's what Call did there to Tauges. I can't believe that Tauges can't be real happy with himself after getting picked off of second base. So got a little pent-up energy that he used up to catch that fly ball, and now first pitch swinging. Zach Eiton grounds a base hit out into right field. 9 hits in the game now for Watertown, but they've only been able to produce 2 runs out of those 9 hits, while Buckman, with just 6 in the hit column, have generated 5 runs out of those 6 hits. No errors charged against either team yet, so a well-played defensive game by both teams. It's just been the clutch hitting by Buckman, and really the extra base power as well. Doubles by Bozer and Rickart, both part of run-producing innings for Buckman. For Watertown, 9 hits, but all of them singles at this point. Strike called, and then a ball to Handgartner. Zach Eiten over at first base. Curveball pulled down the left field line, but gonna hook foul down there. Interesting that the catcher, Ben Thielen, with all of his gear on, is going to be the one to run down the line and retrieve that foul ball. You would think after catching 13 innings of baseball that Ben Thielen might just want to sit down on the bench and relax between innings, but he's the one who ran down the line to get that ball. So maybe talk about pent-up energy. Ben Thielen might just have some of that as well. He's 2 for 2 batting on the game. But anyways, it's Ryan Handgartner who's up to bat, fouls it off to the right, and then check swing at a high fastball, and they appeal, but no swing, says our base umpire. So we go 2 balls and 2 strikes here. Watertown trying to pick up a base runner here. Stranded 6 so far through 4 innings. Long look over at Eiten. Back up the middle. Stepping on second and over to first for another inning-ending double play is Jack Suska. And it's a 4-3 double play to end the inning. So Enstrom tried to field that one behind his back, and fortunately for Buckman, he missed it. It went right straight to the base, and Suska, the second baseman, was standing right there to complete the double play, the second double play that Ryan Handgartner in the number 5 spot in the order has hit into in this one. So they don't strand a base runner in the 5th, but they lose one, another one to a double play, and Buckman just continues to play fundamental baseball here. They have the lead 5-2, and we'll look to add on more here in the bottom of the 5th with Weber, Rickart, and Cummett scheduled to bat. As they do with all the games, the grounds crew comes out here, puts in fresh bases, drags that infield, runs that little drag down the line, so we're going to get true hops here in this infield. Couldn't ask for a better true hop on a ground ball right back to the second base bag, and Jack Suska to end the top half of inning number 5. And Buckman continues to hold on to this 3-run lead. Grounds crew finishes up their work. Get a nice round of applause from this tremendous crowd that has gathered here. Take in this semifinal game. And Aaron Weber will lead things off here. Faces Jonah Lewis. Back out there. Works from the stretch with nobody on. Curveball in there for a called strike. So it's Lewis's job to try to keep Buckman right here at this 5-run count. Try to give Watertown a few more chances. Try to make a comeback here. They trail it by 3. Swing and a miss by Weber. So no balls and 2 strikes. Weber struck out and grounded into a fielder's choice. Now a foul tip right to the glove of the catcher, Thielen. And it's another strikeout for Jonah Lewis.
Number 51, the designated hitter, Andrew Rucker.
His 5th since coming on in relief of Dulles in this one. And now he'll try to figure out Andrew Rickart, who has singled, drove in a run, and then a double that drove in 2 runs. Help build up this 5-2 lead. 3 RBIs for Rickert, 2 RBIs for Bozer, as Lewis goes a little Ricky Vaughn and throws one all the way to the backstop on the 1-0 offering there. High fastball. Rickert gave a long, hard look to Lewis. I think he was expecting Lewis to challenge him. He did. And Rickert just swung through it, had a look. Now a chopper up the first base line. High hop up to Eaton. Cap high, and his toss to the pitcher, Lewis, covering, is dropped by Lewis. So I think Eaton could have taken that one all by himself. Decided to go with the toss to Lewis, and Lewis just plumb dropped it. So that'll give a base runner for Buckman. One out, base runner, line drive, base hit by Cummett into right field. And as they have done in the past, Buckman trying to take advantage here of a mistake by Watertown. Base hit by Cummett gives them now 2 base runners. First and second, and Travis Call, who was struck out swinging and struck out looking in his first 2 at-bats, try to get untracked here against Jonah Lewis and chops one foul. Nisswa, it's like they got through an unscathed 7th inning against Delano, continues to hold 7-4 lead, batting in the bottom half of inning number 7. So we'll have our first team into the championship game, likely from over at the field in Dundas. They're a couple innings ahead of us here in their game. They've got another one to play there. It's the Class B state championship game. And a strike called. It popped out of the glove of Thielen, but called a strike. Curveball at the letters to Travis Call. So no balls and 2 strikes. Call a couple of base runners out there. Pretty good lead at second for Rickart. Chopper back up the middle. They go to second for 1, on to first. Not in time. So Call is able to beat that relay throw from Handgartner. Wasn't all that hard hit. Keevy charged. A nice little underhand toss to Handgartner, who turned as quickly as he could, but Travis Call was able to beat it out. And on the play, Rickert will move up to third base. So let's see. This is where Buckman has been extremely dangerous last couple of games here. Swing and a miss by Call. Call has struck out, flown out to center, but in there 13-4 victory over Dumont. Buckman scored 5 two-out runs in the 5th inning that really kind of put the game out of reach. Pitch misses off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lewis has to be careful here to not uncork a wild one. Pop up, shallow left field. Shortstop going out, left fielder coming in, but the shortstop Keevy will call and make the cap high catch to end the inning. So a big out for Lewis and Watertown there. They strand a couple of runners on base. Really can't afford to give Buckman a whole lot more, especially the way that Nathan Enstrom is throwing for Buckman here. So since the 2 runs put up in the the top half of inning number 2, it's been a base runner in the 3rd, stranded at first. Base runner leadoff single in the 4th, stranded at first, and a 1-out single erased on a 4-4-3 double play in the 5th. So Watertown really needs to get something going here in this one. Trail it by 3. Taking a look over at the field at Dundas. Nisswa batting in the bottom of the 7th. Has a runner at second base. So they're trying to add on to a 7-4 lead. Try to get a spot in that championship game. Nisswa looked like they were out of this tournament in their opening round game against Richmond. Richmond scored 2 runs in the top of the 12th. But Nisswa comes back and gets 3 in the bottom. Wins that game 6-5. Then takes out two more teams. A line drive, base hit into center field by Mitch Kelzer. Leading things off here in the 6th, so no surprise that Watertown has a base runner. So Nisswa, it was Raymond that they were able to knock out 6-5 in extra innings, and then took out New Ulm 4-2 and Jordan 14-2. And now lead 8-4 as they've tacked on that run in the 7th. Fly ball right field off the bat of Jackson Meyer. In is Travis Call, and he puts it away. The first pitch swinging. Jackson Meyer, who singled in his first 2 at-bats today here, once as a pinch hitter in the quarterfinal game, and then leading off and scoring a run in the 2nd inning, has now then grounded out to 3rd and flown out to right. And Thielen, the catcher, Ben, steps in. He's 2 for 2 in the game, and that pitch comes in and hits him. So that pitch was kind of riding up, and all Thielen did was lean forward, put his elbow out. He's got the elbow guard on there, and I'll tell you what, Watertown needs base runners, so good smart headsy play by Ben Thielen there to just go ahead and let that pitch that was riding in on him go ahead and hit him. So runners now at 1st and 2nd. And we're going to get a pinch runner here for Thielen. It's going to be Cale Wabi. And Jadrian Keevy will step in. Keevy, Watertown High School, and then Ridgewater College in Wilmer. Play some college ball, and Nisswa tack on a couple more. In the 7th, they lead Delano 10-4 now, as they look to punch their ticket into the championship game of this state Class C tournament. Don't forget, immediately following that one from Dundas, Rochester will try to wrap up a Class B state championship They take on Champlain Park, and Rochester undefeated in the tournament. If they win that game, they would be the Class B state champions. If they lose, it will be another game here tomorrow to determine that Class B state championship. Pitch to Keevee, missed. Now a 1-0 offering is fouled back and out of play. Watertown down by 3 here in the 6th, and Keevee, after fouling that one back, slammed his bat down to the ground. So really got to compose yourself. A lot of ball left to be played here, so you can't do it all at once. Keevee needs to stay back and stay patient here in this at-bat. Check swing and misses down low. So 2 balls and 1 strike now to the number 9 hitter, shortstop, Jadrian Keevee. Little looper out into right center field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Runner's got a scamper in the second. Wabi, he went about 2/3 of the way, headed back to first. And when he saw the ball hit the ground in front of a Travis Call, had to get up and quickly slide into second base as backing up the play, Tauges picked it up and fired a strike into the shortstop. Gertz covering, but it's another bases loaded situation for Watertown here, this time with the top of the order coming up. They loaded the bases in the top half of the first, and Enstrom got an inning-ending double play off the bat of Ryan Handgartner. They loaded the bases in the second, and they got a 2 RBI single from the batter who is about to step in the box, Pat Cheetah, to score their only 2 runs of the game. But we're not able to get any more, as with runners at first and third, Matt Butler lined out to the shortstop and Ben Smith grounded out to second. Since then, it's just been single runners in the third, fourth, and fifth, all stranded, but now bases loaded. 11 hits in the game for Watertown, and that pitch dancing out of the way is Cheetah. I think he's kind of disappointed in himself, just reactionary to jump out of the way of that pitch, but he could have just jumped back, let that one hit him, and that would have been a free run for the Watertown Redbirds. This crowd definitely into it now for Watertown, and that pitch misses down and in. Cheetah confirms with the home plate umpire that that pitch missed inside, maybe down as well. So now ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. Cheetah lifts one out into left field, going back and struggling to get it is the left fielder Bozer. It's over his head, and now we're going to have a potential play at the plate. It gets by the catcher. Comet, 2 runs are going to score, and it is a 5-4 ball game. So going the opposite way was Cheetah. Kelzer easily came in to score. Wabi kind of held up between second and third, and Jadrian Keevee was right on his heels. So Wabi had to go for home. The throw from the shortstop Gertz was well ahead of Wabi coming around third, but the catcher Comet was unable to handle the throw. It went behind him, and it's going to be a 2 RBI double for Cheetah, because I think you can't assume that they're going to throw the runner out at home plate. 4 RBIs now in the game for Pat Cheetah, and runners at second and third. 5-4 here. So that's going to do it for Nathan Enstrom here in the bottom half, or make it the top half of inning number 6. So he gave up 12 hits, but spun a couple of ground balls. They're going to bring Tauges in from center field. Number 14 for Buckman. Andrew Wincher is going to head out to center field. And Matt Tauges will come in here and try to get out of this inning. Watertown again loads the bases here in the top half of inning number 6, and really it's been their leadoff hitter, Pat Cheetah, who is the only one who hasn't struggled here with the bases loaded. 2 RBI single back in the second, now a 2 RBI double over the head of the left fielder Bozer here in the 6th, and we've got ourselves a 5-4 ball game. Still just 1 out, and the number 2 hitter in the order, Matt Butler, coming up for Watertown. They will try to at least tie the ball game here with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. Butler, the right-hander, will face the new right-hander, Tauges. Infield is in for Buckman here. Fly ball, pop-up actually in the infield. And Matt Butler is disgustedly walking back to the third base dugout as he went after the first pitch from Tauges. I was going to say that's a risky defensive play with the go-ahead run at second to play the infield in and allow Butler a chance to just hit a hard ground ball through the infield, would score 2 runs, but big pitch by Tauges gets the pop out of Butler, and now he'll have to deal with Ben Smith, the left-hander. Base open at first. Tauges will work from the windup, comes right after Smith with the first pitch. Smith swings and misses, and takes a ball outside. So a big at-bat here in this one. It's a 5-4 game. Come inside on Smith, so first pitch was right down the heart. The second pitch outside, the third pitch inside. So Tauges really moving the ball around well against Ben Smith here. But down in the count, 2-1. Fly ball out into right field. It's drifting towards the line. Getting over there is Travis Call, and he's able to put it away in foul territory. So that'll do it for Watertown in the top of the 6th, but they get a couple of big runs here and cut this deficit from 5-2 to 5-4. So we're right back here to a 1-run ball game now. It'll be 9-1-2. Suska Tauges and Gertz for Buckman. And Jonah Lewis continues to hurl for Watertown here. He's been able to keep Buckman off the scoreboard since coming on in relief of the starter, Anson Dulles. He will try to continue to do the same thing. Hang zeros and hope that Watertown can try to come back in this one. Watertown has stranded 9 base runners through 6 innings and has hit into 2 double plays. 12 hits in the game for Watertown through 6 innings of at-bat. but for the 4 RBIs off of the 2 hits from Pat Cheetah, they have not been able to generate any more offense from that, and he's left on base starting to loom large as we head towards the latter part of this second semifinal. It's certainly looking good for Nisswa over at Dundas. They continue to hold a 10-4 lead over Delano and try to be the first team that slots their name into the championship game out of the lower bracket of this tournament. Suska fouls that one out of play and off to the left. Now it's Suska who's starting to show a little bit of emotion after fouling that first pitch off. So it's interesting to watch as the two teams battle back and forth, and you can kind of see where the pressure is building up. Fly ball left field, diving attempt made by Kelzer. Can't come up with it. Suska's going to head first dive into second base with a looping double down the left field line. So Kelzer tried to make a diving catch out there with the left-handed batter, shooting one down the left field line. It's a leadoff double here for Suska. So after going 2 for 4, driving in a couple of runs in game 1, Suska has his first hit here. It's a double, and they're going to look him back at second base. There's Matt Taugis. Squares early, then pulls the bat back, and he shows some emotion after letting that pitch go by. So what he tried to do is draw the first baseman Eiton in and wanted to slap it past him with that early square. Now Eiton's not buying it as Taugis swings and misses. At the 0-1 offering from Lewis. So Taugis looking to try to pull the ball here. Get Suska over to third base, but right now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. He'll have to fight and battle against Lewis here. Line drive out into right center field, and a diving catch is made out there, and Suska with a base running mistake. He was about a third of the way rather than tagging up there. Suska read that ball as potentially getting down and was thinking about scoring, but really Suska needs to be tagging up there so that he can get to third base if that ball is caught in right field by Matt Butler, and Butler made an excellent diving catch to come up with it, and Suska had to scamper back to second base. So really Matt Taugis did his job there. He pulled the ball to the right side. It was in the air. It was a great diving catch by Matt Butler, but he would have had no chance to get up and throw out the base runner Jack Suska going to third if he would have tagged up, but Suska kind of caught in no man's land there. Had to scamper back to second, so he's still at second base with 1 away, and Lane Gertz at the plate, and Gertz takes a curveball inside, 2 balls and no strikes after the first pitch missed as well. That pitch misses off the outside corner, so you do have first base open with 1 out here. But standing on deck is Noah Bozer, and Bozer already has 2 hits and 2 RBIs in this game. So not sure you want to face the lefty here with more runners on base, but whether they meant to do it or not, it's a 4-pitch walk to Lane Gertz. And he'll be runners at first and second, and that's going to bring a slow walk out of the third base dugout from the management of the Watertown Red Devils. So after getting 2 in the top of the 6th, Watertown would have loved nothing more than to have a nice quick inning and get back into the at-bat, but nobody has had such luck against the Buckman Billygoats in this tournament.
Now batting for the Billygoats, left fielder, number 22, Noah Bozer.
They have proven to be a tough out in this tournament, and that means in more ways than one A, to beat them to knock them out of the tournament, but B, just to get them out in each half of their inning. They've also had a number of base runners in this one. Bozer swings it, fouls that one back and out of play. So after the trip to the mound, Lewis challenges Bozer with a first pitch fastball there, and Bozer just fouled it back and out of play. Bozer 5 RBIs on the day already, 2 in this one, 3 in the opening game victory against Dumont. Pitch is up in the zone. Bozer, Pierce High School, and then a Beaver of Bemidji State. Playing college. They're into the 9th inning over at Dundas. Strike called. So Lewis was able to strike out Bozer the last time he faced him with a runner out at second base and 2 outs. Now he faces him with a runner at first, a runner at second, and 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th. Curveball swung on and missed. So Lewis has gotten Bozer to strike out consecutively with runners in scoring position. A big strikeout there. And now he'll have to deal with Aaron Weber. Weber has struck out twice. Once against the starter, Dulles, and once against Lewis. Grounded into a fielder's choice and scored a run in the 3-run 3rd inning. Fly ball, line drive, more into right field, but backing up is Butler and puts it away. So, Jonah Lewis is able to pitch out of the jam. Leave a couple of more runners on base for Buckman. So now suddenly it's Buckman who is leaving runners on base. They left 2 on in the 3rd. They left a runner on second in the 3rd. They left runners at first and 3rd in the 5th. And I'll leave runners at first and second here in the 6th. So 7 runners left on base in the last 3 at-bats. All right, so top half of inning number 7. Watertown with 12 hits through their first 6 at-bats. We'll face Matt Taugis, and it's Zach Eiton. Eiton has one of those 12 hits, a 1-out single in the 5th, erased on a double play, walked in the 1st, and was left stranded there as well. 1-1 now. The count as the 0-1 offering misses. Curveball lifted into shallow center. Getting a late start on it was the center fielder Wincher. And Suska tries to make a diving catch on it, and it eludes his glove. So a big swing by Eiton. It got it out off the end of the bat, and that froze the center fielder Wincher. He got a late start on it. Jack Suska from the second base position made a tremendous diving attempt to come up with it, but it just missed the end of his glove. And it's another leadoff runner for Watertown. They got the leadoff runner on back in the 4th. They got a leadoff runner on in the 6th, and now another one here in the 7th, and Ryan Handgartner, who's grounded into 2 double plays in this one. Squares the bunt and takes it for a strike. Third baseman Weber really creeping in on the grass here. Handgartner lays it down. It's just in front of the plate. Cummett comes up with it and fires it over to the first baseman, Joe Call, covering. But the sacrifice is executed. A little bit of small ball there for Watertown, but with Ryan Handgartner already having grounded into 2 double plays. Probably a smart play on their part to go ahead and give Handgartner up. And I think we might get a pinch runner coming out here at second base for Eiton. It looks like it's going to be number 10, Nick Truckee, coming out of the dugout to run for Eiton.
Pinch runner for the Red Devils at second base, number 10, Nick Truckee.
So not a bad guy to have on your bench. Guy by the name of Truckee. You want somebody to run, you go to your Truckee. So he'll pinch run here. A little more speed out there. Now that Eiton is in the scoring position, it will be the Johnny, Nick Truckee, who will come in to run. Mitch Kelzer takes a curveball off the outside part of the plate. Delano not going down without a fight over at Dundas. They've plated 3 already in the top half of the 9th inning. Still batting. So trying to mount a big comeback. Ground ball to second base. It's bobbled out there by the second baseman. But Suska stays with it and is able to throw out Mitch Kelzer on the play. Pinch runner Truckee. Move over to third base, and it'll be up to the number 7 hitter, Jackson Meyer, with a tying run at third base. Dow just going to work from the windup and fires a strike right down the heart of the plate to Meyer. Meyer singled and scored in the second. Grounded out to third and flew out to right in his next 2 at-bats. Ground ball to the hole at short. Going to take a strong throw, and he gets him at first base. Our base umpire pointing down at the base saying that Joe Call stayed on the base. So Gertz with a great play at shortstop went to his right, had to come up and make a strong throw over to Joe Call at first to save the game-tying run from scoring from third. And Joe Call makes a good play to reach up and pull that high throw from Girth out of the air, keep his foot on the base, and keep this a 1-run game for the Buckman Billygoats as we are going to head to the bottom half of inning number 7 here. It's stretch time at Bell Field in Florida, or in Faribault. Feels like Florida, but a beautiful day here in Minnesota for baseball, and we've seen some good ones here. Not much better than the one we've got brewing here. 5-4 as we head into the later third of this ball game. It will be Buckman trying to add to their 1-run lead. Rickert, Cummett, and Call when we come back.
Watertown re-entry by the first baseman, number 24, Zach Eiton. Leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Billygoats, number 51, designated hitter, Andrew Rucker.
And Andrew Rickert steps in, and it looks like Nisswa has closed out Delano. Delano picks up 4 runs in the top half of the 9th inning, but Nisswa hangs on and wins it 10-8. It will be our first entrant into the state championship game. So the Nisswa Lightning, who look like they may have been down and out of this tournament in their first game, get 3 extra inning runs to stay alive in the tournament, and now finds themselves with an opportunity to play for a state championship. And Rickert ahead 3 balls and no strikes to Lewis here. Ruckert been on base all 3 times, make it all 4. As it's a leadoff walk here. Almost seems as if both of these pitchers just don't feel right without runners on the base paths. Just 1, 2, 3 inning. That was the bottom half of the second inning for Buckman. Watertown has had a base runner in every inning of this one, and we're now going to get a pitching change coming. So an excellent job here from Jonah Lewis to keep Buckman at bay and allow Watertown an opportunity to try to come back in this one. He came into the game with Buckman having already scored 5 runs into the third inning. He got out of that inning and then has held Buckman scoreless the rest of the way. But after the leadoff walk to Rickert, we're going to bring Holt Hunsaker into the game. So Hunsaker was the winning pitcher, going 7 innings. So Holt Hunsinger has already pitched 7 innings so far today, and now he's going to come into this one in the bottom half of the 7th inning. A runner at first, nobody out. And again, try to keep Buckman at bay here.
Class B championship first game. Class B will move to a final second game tomorrow here at Bell Field at 3 p.m. following the Class C championship at noon.
All right, so the warm-up pitches are completed. And Hunsinger will face, and a good bunt laid down, but having to wait to see if it's going to get caught is the base runner Rickert. So the ball was popped up in the air off the bat of Cummett. And Rickert, not knowing if Hunsinger was maybe going to be able to catch that ball in the air, had to hold his spot. Hunsinger bobbled the ball, but was able to come up with it in time and throw to the shortstop, Keevy, covering. So they get the force out on Rickert. 1-6 will be the put out there. Now we're going to get a pinch runner. So a pinch runner coming in for Cummett, who's caught 16 innings up to this point in the day, so not a bad move to let him rest those legs a little bit. They'll bring in Andrew Wincher to run. Travis Call will step in. One away here as Cummett tried to bunt. Rickert down to second base, but bunted it in the air. 1-1 count now to Travis Call as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Strike called. A 1-2 so after missing with the first pitch to Call, Holt Hunsinger comes back with 2 strikes. Pinch runner Wincher at first. It was double play ball here. Peavy to Handgartner, and it's a 4-3 inning ending double play off the bat of Travis Call, and a big fist pump All right, so both teams using the double play ball to help get out of innings. The most recent, Holt Hunsinger, the winner of game one, named the player of the game in that one. 7 innings of 2-run baseball. And comes back in here in this one. Gets an inning-ending double play, and now Matt Taugis will face Ben Thielen as the catcher Cummett returns to the game to his usual position behind home plate for the Buckman Billygoats. Swing and a miss by Thielen. Thielen been on base all 3 times. 2 singles, 2 runs scored in his slot. The second one was by the pinch runner Cale Wabi, but he's produced 2 runs in that number 8 spot in the order. Takes a called strike on a curveball and a fastball up in the zone. Taugis confirming that that pitch was up, but that pitch has been called a ball all day long. And a chopper back off of Lammers. So the home plate umpire will take a couple of steps out before firing the ball back. Take that ball out of play. Don't need that one anymore, says our home plate umpire. And we'll do it again here at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Time called. As Taugis was trying to get on the same page as his catcher, Matt Cummett. So Thielen already been in and out of the game once, so if he were to get on base, he does have to run for himself unless they want somebody else, but that all matters not, as rising up and calling a 3rd strike on Ben Thielen is our home plate umpire. Outside corner at the knees, so a perfect pitcher's pitch from Matt Taugis. And out number 1 is recorded. Now it'll be Jackson Keevy, 2 for 3 on the day for Keevy. Swing and a miss, so Taugis has come in here and done the job shutting down Watertown. Got Jackson Meyer to ground out to the shortstop on a great play. Foul balled on the 3rd base line as Keevy pulled a ground ball that just went wide of the bag at 3rd. Home plate umpire with a good look at it, and the natives getting a little restless here by Watertown. They thought that the strike call to Thielen was questionable, and they thought that that ball was faired on the 3rd base line, but neither of those calls go the way of the Red Devils. So we'll do it again here at 0-2 to Keevy. Curveball swung on and missed. So back-to-back strikeouts by Matt Taugis, and he is marching around that pitching mound. I think he would have preferred to have just gotten that ball right back to face the one guy that Buckman just cannot figure out today in Pat Cheetah. 3 for 4, 4 RBIs in the game for Cheetah. And that pitch misses down at the feet of Cheetah. So here in the top half of inning number 8, Cheetah looks at a pitch down in the zone. So 2-0. Cheetah trying to get on base here. Swing and a miss. So Taugis, since coming in from center field, done nothing but throw strikes and get outs here. 2 strikeouts in this top half of the 8th inning. Chopper off the foot of the Cheetah in the batter's box. He looked at the home plate umpire as if to say, I know you saw that. It was really easy to see the change of spin on that ball after it hit Cheetah's foot. So I think if our home plate umpire hadn't have got that one, the base umpire would have come charging in to call that ball dead as well. You just really pick up the spin off of that ball. And a 2-2 offering misses away. So the Nisswa Lightning, the top seed out of Region 8, awaits the winner of this one, and Buckman is the number 3 seed coming out of Region 8. So will it be an all Region 8 championship, or does Watertown have a comeback in them to get to the championship game? And Cheetah stays alive on the 3-2 offering. Just got a piece of it and fouled it back to the screen. Tau just toes that rubber and awaits for Cheetah to step back in. He wants to go quickly here from the windup. Lifted into shallow left field, but drifting over is Bozer and slides down to make the catch. So they're able to get Pat Cheetah to fly out to left, and it's a 1-2-3 top half of the 8th inning for the Buckman Billygoats defensively. So 8-9-1 call Suska and Tauges up for Buckman, trying to add on some insurance as to close this one out. Tauges will likely have to face Butler, Smith, and Zach Eiton, 2, 3, and 4.
First baseman number 3, Joe Paul.
So Andrew Nichols will come into the game and play right field. Oh, an excellent bunt up the third base line. No chance to get Travis Call there. Make it Joe Call, the left-hander, lays down a beautiful bunt right down that third base line. Just deadened that ball, kept it on the dirt so that it wouldn't hit the lip of the grass and kick into foul territory. Nichols replaces Butler in right field. Another bunt attempt by Suska. He bunted it foul. I don't know if Suska was necessarily trying to just sacrifice there or drop down another one for a base hit down that third baseline, because he was heading up the line as he tried to lay down the bunt. But fastball that Suska can't catch up with. It's a big strikeout for Hunziger and Watertown, and now Matt Tauges will step in. So Tauges with Joe Call still over there at first base. Good lead by Call. Yep, holding on to the ball just a little too long was Hunsinger, and Tau just requested time. 5-4 ball game here. Bottom 8. Strike called to Taugis. So Taugis does not have a hit in the game. Didn't have a hit in the first game, but has been on base 4 times and scored 3 runs in the 2 games. And now the curveball just hooks around the plate there, says our home plate umpire. And it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Swing and a miss by Taugis. One officially on the day, or officially I should say. Taugis is 0 for 5, but twice hit by a pitch, once walked, once reached on an error back in game number 1. So 4 times on base, even though he has not gotten a base hit. Now he swings and misses and strikes out. So after the leadoff bunt single by Joe Call, it's back-to-back strikeouts by Holt Hunsinger. Ninth and 10th strikeouts of the game by Watertown pitching here in the bottom half of inning number 8. And they're going to try to strand Joe Call out there at first base. Kind of been a game of, oh geez, rides up and in on Girth. Absolutely didn't want to do that. As even though Noah Bozer has struck out his last 2 times up, he has 2 hits and 2 RBIs in this game, and he had 3 hits and 3 RBIs in game number 1, a quarterfinal victory over Dumont. So playing with a little bit of fire here by hitting the number 2 hitter, Lane Gertz. Obviously, Hunsinger had no intention to do that, but still, that pitch just ran up and in on Gertz, and not much he could do to try to get out of the way. So you've got a batter who's produced 5 runs and 5 hits in the game, coming up in a big, tight spot here, because Watertown having to face Matt Taugis in the top half of inning number 9 certainly wants to do so. Only behind by 1 run and not more than that. And Bozer has shown extra base power as well. Ball 1 on the outside. Hunsinger from the stretch. Good lead out there at second base for Call. Line drive, and it's into the center field for a base hit. Cheetah is up with it, but bobbles it. So is not going to be able to make a play on Joe Call. And Noah Bozer comes through again for the Buckman Billygoats. It's a huge 2-out RBI single and a big-time insurance run for the Billygoats. And they aren't done just yet, but they lead it now 6-4. So finally, a big 2-out RBI hit later in the game here for Buckman. They had some run-producing hits in the early innings, but they kind of went quiet up to this point. But now Bozer with a line drive that just eluded a diving Jadrian Keevy and into center field. Cheetah knew he was going to have to come up quickly and try to throw out Joe Call, and bobbled the ball trying to make the transfer from glove to throwing hand. And in doing so, Call easily came in to score run number 6 for Buckman as they're trying to knock out the defending state runners-up from last year, the Watertown Redbirds. Set up an all Region 8 championship game here tomorrow. And Aaron Weber fouls the 1-0 offering back and out of play. So Weber has struck out twice, hit into a fielder's choice, and flew out to right. But it was Weber's 3-run home run that delivered the final nail in the coffin in their Game 1 victory over Dumont, as that made it a 13-2 game. And now with runners at first and second here, he's trying to add more insurance onto the board for the Billygoats. Strike two as our umpire lost track of the count. He was rising up to punch out Weber with strike three, but then realized his indicator only said 1 ball and 1 strike. So now it's 1 and 2. Hunsinger to Weber. Popped up. Shallow center field. Cheetah under it and makes the catch. So they're able to get out, giving up just a 1 run, but it's a big one for Buckman as they now lead it by 2, 6-4 as we head to the bottom or the top half of inning number 9. We owe you a break here. We'll take it quickly and come back to Belfield in Faribault for the top half of inning number 9. And we'll see if the Buckman Billygoats can join their Region 8 counterparts, the Nisswa Lightning, in the championship game after this timeout on NSPN.TV. So Andrew Nichols, who replaced Matt Butler in right field, will lead off here. It's been a little bit of the battle of left on base here. Buckman has left 10, Watertown has left 9, but Buckman 10 hits, and they've been able to turn that into 6 runs. 13 hits for Watertown, but just 4 runs as the 1-1 offering is swung on and missed by Nichols. Nichols, Watertown, and then to Northern State and Aberdeen to play college. Swings and fouls it just off the glove of the catcher Comet and stays alive. At 1 ball and 2 strikes, down by 2. Watertown needs at least 1 base runner here. And an off-speed pitch swung on and missed. Nichols got out on that front foot. Couldn't wait back on that offering from Tauges, and Tauges continues to march around that pitching mound after a strikeout. He wants that ball back and wants to go after Ben Smith. Swinging a foul, out of play, off to the left by Smith. So Watertown into their last 2 outs here. Otherwise, we're looking at an all Region 8 final here. And with 16 regions in the state, I would say the odds are not very good that you would expect to see 2 teams from the same region playing for the state championship. But 2 outs away from making that happen are the Buckman Billygoats, as Tauges misses down and in to Smith, and that one also misses down and in. Gets away from Comet. So again, got to get at least 1 base runner on base here. Does Watertown to bring up the potential tying run, and Smith rolls it over into shallow right. Suska makes a diving attempt at it. It goes off the end of his glove and trickles into shallow right field. It'll go down as the 14th base hit of the game for Watertown, so they get what they needed. Zach Eiton, who re-entered after being run for by Nick Truckee, will step in. So Eiton with a runner at first. Down and away. Otauges on his misses has been missing down and into that left-handed batter's box. Down and in to Smith. Now down and away to Eiton there. Eiton with a big cut and a miss. So Eiton knows he represents the tying run. But Buckman has already spun 2 inning-ending double plays. A double play would end this one and send Buckman on to the state championship game. Line drive caught, and it is going to be a game-ending double play as a line drive off the bat of Zach Eiton was caught by Tauchus. He caught Ben Smith off the bag, and they throw back over to Joe Call. Finished this one off, and the Buckman Billygoats coming in here as the 3rd seed out of their region have to play an extra game, have gone 5-0 in this tournament, and will play for a state championship tomorrow against the Nisswa Lightning at noon here at Bell Field in Faribault. So kind of like an NCAA bracket. I don't think a whole lot of people would have filled out this bracket and had the Nisswa Lightning and the Buckman Billygoats playing for a state championship in Faribault, both coming out of Region 8, coming into this state tournament. But that's exactly what we're going to get. And fans, that game will be right here for you on the Neighborhood Sports Network as an excited bunch of Buckman Billygoats implore their fans to get on their feet and cheer for this upstart team that was certainly an underdog to get to where they are headed. And that's a date in the state championship game against their region mates, the Nisswa Lightning. So the player of the game will be Matt Tauges from Buckman. He came in and closed it out and also made a couple of great catches out in center field to keep Watertown off the scoreboard. And let's see what Tauges has to say.
Showed up here today. Tip of the cap to Buckman, and you're 1 win away from winning it all. It was really damn good. Everyone, including the Faribault Lakers down here, we're talking about what a great atmosphere that it was for both Goat Nation and the Red Devils showing up here all day today, by the way. And I'm going to take it aside just for a second. This is absolutely what town baseball is all about. This is awesome. This is exactly why we did this 5 years ago, because this is what we wanted Belfield to look like tonight. Congratulations to both fans. All right, so here we are. Buckman is 1 win away from the state championship. Your thoughts?
Well, I think we got a good team to go out and win it, and I think we've faced this team a couple times already, so we know they can hit the ball, but we got Andy Winshire on the bump tomorrow, baby.
Now, courtesy of our friends from Daikin, you are, once again, the MBA player of the game. Rumor has it that this shirt is going to go to the common man, Dan Cole. Can you deny this?
I can definitely deny that. I haven't seen him out here yet.
So, common man, this is for you. The Billygoats are 1 win away from winning the state championship.
All right, so our NBA representative really doing a nice job of pointing out what a great crowd this was at this game for the semifinals. So Watertown with another deep run in this state tournament. Last year they lose in the state championship game to Sobieski. This year they bow out in the semifinals to the Buckman Billygoats. 6-4, Buckman is able to strand 9 Watertown base runners and turn 3 double plays, none more important than the line out to the pitcher, Matt Tauges, who was able to just easily toss it over to Joe Call and end this ball game and send the Buckman Billygoats to the championship game tomorrow and take on their region foe, the Nisswa Lightning, 10-8 winners over the Delano Athletics in Dundas. Remember, fans, here on the network, the Class B championship game, if Rochester is able to beat Champlain Park in Game 1, they will take home the state championship trophy. If not, we will have a doubleheader of state championship games for you here on the Neighborhood Sports Network. So with your package, you're able to go over and check out that Class B state championship game if you'd like. But as we wrap up this one here from Belfield in Faribault, the Buckman Billygoats, the upstart number 3 seed out of their region, the Buckman Billygoats, say we don't care about seeding, we only care about the good baseball that we've been playing, and they will look to make it 6-0 in this state tournament. To do so, they'll have to beat their region foe, the Nisswa Lightning, who will absolutely have something to say about this in the championship game at noon here tomorrow. And as you've seen every pitch of every inning of every game here at the Amateur State Baseball Tournament from Faribault, one more to get, and we'll have it for you here in Faribault on the Neighborhood Sports Network. So couldn't have been more of an exciting semifinal here. Both Region 8 teams advance with 2-run victories. Nisswa 10-8 over Delano in Dundas, and right here it was Buckman 6-4 over Watertown. So we'll hopefully talk to you tomorrow at noon from here at Bell Field, where a state champion will be crowned, and the Buckman Billygoats will be a part of that game. They knock out the Watertown Red Devils 6-4. So for our production crew back at the studio, cameraman Greg Wilford, this has been Ron Osterman calling from Bell Field in Faribault. And until the championship game at noon tomorrow, we bid you a tremendous Sunday evening.
Baseball. It's America's pastime and Minnesota's passion. The all-new Neighborhood Sports Network, in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association, brings you coverage of the 2022 State Amateur Baseball Tournament. Coverage is proudly brought to you by The Urgency Room, fast, flexible care. McDonald's, owners and operators of Minnesota and Western Wisconsin. Find your golden opportunity at mcdonalds.com/careers. The Star Tribune, your home for the best prep coverage. And by the Minnesota Twins. Welcome to the neighborhood. Now, let's get out to the ballpark.